Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev.
Good day.
Let's talk about your experience.
Which one?
The snake. We need to go a
The
little deeper
snake.
into this. We started a
Okay.
conversation before I hit record, and I'm like, stop talking. We need to record this. So, the snake. The snake. Bev, you share the story of the snake on your truck, on the truck.
So this morning of these recordings, I was called to go look out at the vehicle or come out and come see this. And there was a snake, a gopher snake, a 6 foot snake on top of the truck underneath the light bar on the roof. And we we look at things a lot of things. I don't know what all the message was for the snake because I haven't done all the looking at it. But for me, it would be a sign of protection. You're not wanting to get in your truck to go drive it anywhere right that moment because you don't want to disturb the snake or do any of these things. So it's like it's keeping possibly keeping you safe. And then you started talking about different reasons, of us paying attention to these things.
Yeah. So, the snake, as I was thinking about it, because you shared this with me for about an hour ago, um, the snake saying, I'm here. I'm fully exposing myself. And this is an opportunity for you to step into having more awareness of your surroundings. Because we are entering summer, hotter climate. This is when all species of snakes decide to come out and play in their environment that we inhabit. And just saying, hey, yes, I agree too that animals and such are some kind of a message to pay attention to. I know like snakes shed their skin. So they're shedding the old to make room for new. That's one. But to be like, I'm just letting you know that we are here and it's time for you to practice presence maybe a little more. That, before I go outside a door, I look out my windows, the door window, and I'm like, okay. And then I open the door and I look, and then I take a step. I programmed myself to do that a long time ago. Um, because we also have skunks around here and spiders and all the things, lizards. I've had lizards scare the daylights out of me because I've scared them and they move and then I jump and it's just a whole thing. But just being very aware, and this isn't just about the critters, it's just life in general. Be aware of your surroundings. Be present. The way you're aware of your surroundings is being present. And that's kind of what I was getting to is being mindful. Like look, and when you're looking at your surroundings, a lot of times we're so busy in where we're going or what we need to do, like, oh gosh, I got to run to the store. So I just run out the house, jump in the car, and go. Well, I have no idea what was around me, right? But when I take a moment, I look out and then I walk and then I'm looking around. Like I practice this in parking lots, even in broad daylight. I look like under my car and look around my surroundings. Not, I don't have my head down in my phone. There are reasons that we need to be very present, not only for safety of your surroundings, but also for divine guidance.
Yeah. And it's in that practice alone is again flexing your intuitive muscles. It really is. It's being in that space. And you also recognize, because I would say I recognize how many times I'm autopiloting, moving around, that I'm not really present with every step that I'm taking, with everything that's around me, even to the point of that I was telling you. Well, I kind of got a warning once before from a Mojave Green that I surprised, and it was not able to sink its teeth into me. It was only able to throw its nose, basically tap my leg, and I was lucky in that instance. But again, was I present that night? I wasn't looking down, and it was darker outside. I was looking for the dog, and so I was tunnel vision onto something else instead of looking at that as more of an opportunity to be able to look around more, to be able to take in more, to it's an opportunity to be present. Moving meditation, to me, that's moving meditation. If you're aware of everything that's around you, you're kind of flowing with everything. And then I'm not having to, I don't know, having to kill anything or do any of these other things, because I have more of awareness. I can shift easier. I don't, there's a lot of different perspectives on that, but yeah, it does make life easier. And that's when we receive all of the messages. That's how we receive the messages, in that being in that present moment, because all we have is present. If I'm too busy focused on the past or too busy focused on the future, I am not allowing the information that's coming to me right that moment through my filter for me to even receive the message. I'm not, my choice is I'm not allowing it. And it doesn't have to be that way. I can choose to be present. And so all that stuff again that we just talked about is an opportunity to remind me to be present. And it was cool. Super cool. Like, how cool. It's a big truck. It's not like a little tiny truck. So for it to even be up there. And then he was still going to be leaving to go somewhere after he had removed the snake from the roof of the vehicle, and then it came back again and got up into the engine and stuff, and he didn't want to hurt it, so he knew that that was the plan that I had for today was not going to be the plan after all. It's telling me that this is not the right time to leave. I need to stay here at this time. So protection, like, that's how we receive those information, those messages. So it just keeps it exciting.
Yeah. It can be fun. It can be helps life be more easy, simple. Um, and well, in a lot of sense, keep you safe.
Yeah. And it's curiosity, right? Because we're back to the curiosity about it. Well, that's curious that it even got up there. And so it's asking questions, because we're asking questions that we're evolving, because we're wanting to know more information. Well, that why? Like, we could go back a couple of recordings, and it's like when we talk about children always saying why. They're asking is going to bring them answers. It may not bring them through the channel, the mom, the dad, the whoever, the caretaker that's around them, but those answers will come to them. Now, are they going to be aware that those questions are being answered? I don't know. Possibly. I can't speak for kids because they haven't gone through all the processing or the programming to get to the point where we survived to get to this age.
Yeah. And who said that we couldn't keep asking questions? Who said
Yep.
we
Our
couldn't keep
parent, we were
asking
told that.
why?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Or even sitting and being quiet. Like, for me, my reference would be when I was a child and my mom would take us to different churches and stuff like that. We had to sit and be quiet. You have to sit still and be quiet. That just doesn't, I mean, sit still. Maybe that's why I struggle so much with meditation, because it's like I don't like to just sit still, but I have my moments where everything comes in. It's just the perfect opportunities, and it goes along with being present. It's just those opportunities, even being with that snake. It's like being curious about it, because as soon as you're curious about it, you allow for information to come in and satisfy that curiosity to answer your questions.
And yeah, and you brought up the topic of meditation, to have to sit still and be quiet and meditate. Meditation has all kinds of forms. And when we can release the idea that the only way to meditate is to sit, be still, be quiet, clear your mind, and all the things, then now you're causing resistance. Because the first thing that comes up, and I know it did for me, is that's not going to work for me. That now I can't do that. Now I've already made this agreement with myself that it's not even possible. But then when we look at other ways of being present again is just when you are going about your day, is just look at your surroundings, look at the objects around you, look at the clouds in the sky, look at the bird, look at the car next to you. It's just you could be walking, you could be coloring, you could be humming, you could be doing all kinds of things that create a meditative state. Um, Artists, people who are painters or hobbyists, they're focused on what they are doing. They're very present with what they're doing. Artists, are allowing the vision to flow to them of what they want that painting to look like. So don't get wrapped up into the idea that the only way to meditate or the only way to be present is to be still and quiet. Um, Songwriters, when they're still and they are focused on their songwriting, the words flow, and then this beautiful song comes out. Right? Open up the idea that there are many ways to practice presence.
There is no one way, you're right. And it's exploring all the ways and
Yeah.
seeing which one is ideal for you. When
Yes.
you were saying to look at it, look at it, look at it, also when you're looking at it, to even becoming more present, which is I would say is quite meditative, is if you're focused on a bird, feel that bird, feel that tree. Like feel what do you when you're focused and you're tuned into that tree right now and you feel things in your body, and that's so important to know how you feel before you tune in. But when you tune in, it's like, what are you noticing? Like, what do you feel? And that brings you even more present, but also brings you into a meditative space because it's like contemplation. You're just open to receiving information for anything that's around you, whatever you're tuned into.
And are you going to allow yourself to receive it?
Yeah.
Because we have a choice. I love that
Because
word.
everything is. And if you can get busy and be like, oh, I got to hurry up and get to work, or you can stop and take a second. What's coming to me right now, the reason why time seems to be going so fast is because we don't mostly stop and take a second. We're all plowing ahead. And I've noticed lately for me, time seems to be slowing down. And I don't know if it's slowing down for me, like even getting ready this morning. I swear I looked at the time, it was 8:32. I did something, a few other things, and I look back at the time and it's still 8:32. Time is slowing down the more present you are, and you don't have like this agenda of things that you've got to do. So stop and smell the roses for a second, because guess what? It's only a couple seconds. It's not going to set you back. It's actually going to put you forward.
Yep. But are you going to allow yourself to do it? And again, this just comes back to choice. And and it takes practice. Everything that Bev and I talk about takes practice. We just didn't wake up being like this or doing these things or being even able to talk about these things. Like we had to learn it, we had to practice it, then we could share about it. And some things work for us, some things they don't, but at least we have knowledge of them. Maybe we gave it a go and it the tool didn't work out the way maybe I used something that didn't work for Bev and Bev used something that didn't work out for me, but at least we shared it and we have knowledge of it and we can share it with other people. So don't discount things unless you actually allow yourself to practice it for a period of time. Similar to having a different eating plan because you want to, shrink your body. Well, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't change your eating habits for one meal or one day and then expect 50 pounds to come off. You have to practice it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then if it works well, it becomes part of your lifestyle. It becomes a regular routine. It's something that if you don't do it, you miss doing it. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't do that today, and I need to fit it in at some point today because my body is like, why are we doing this? So give yourself opportunity to practice it for a period of time and then decide, is this something for me or is there another way of doing it? Is there an option to how I'm doing it? Is there a way to adjust or tweak this slightly so it feels better to me? We also need to recognize that the way I teach something doesn't mean that's the thing. It means here's a tool, adjust it to where it works for you. That's what I've done throughout my entire healing process. I've learned a tool and I adjust it to make it work for me.
I like that. Well, because it just reminds me of someone handing you a piece of clay and it's like, okay, show me what do you want to create? It's an opportunity.
And it could be as simple as make a ball. Like just there, I made a ball. I made something.
Yep.
But because it's so simplistic, you discount what you created. And you're comparing yourself to other people who maybe they created this little statue and they have that ability. And well, I don't, and at this point in my life, I will tell you, I don't have that ability. Wait, I'll rephrase that. I have the ability, I just haven't tapped into it. And it is not something at this point in my life that I'm excited about even attempting to improve on. And that's okay. Here's my ball. I made a ball.
Perfect. That is the best ball I've ever seen.
Maybe I'll take a pen and make a little flower on it or something. I don't know, but it's like it can be that simple and we make it so complicated because we're trying to compare ourselves to each other or compare ourselves to somebody else. And well, Bev and I have been practicing these things like 20, 30 years. Whereas if you're just starting today, we are your guide. We are not the person to compare yourself to. We can be an inspiration, but we are not the person to compare yourself to. You only compare yourself to who you are and where you were and where you want to go and how well you're getting there. That's your comparison. Compare you with you, and that's it. Let everybody else inspire you.
Yeah. We're just information for you to create from.
Yep. As my coach reminds us of that all the time. She's like, listen, you are stepping into your coaching business. I've been doing this for 25 years. I've done this day in and day out, and I'm really good at it. So don't compare yourself to me. There is no comparison. We are not, you got to compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges, not an apple to a banana. Like, it's not going to work.
Agreed.
So
Blend it all,
look,
make a smoothie.
so look up the snake. Give us more information what the snake means before we wrap this up, because I'm curious.
Oh, I'll have to go onto my
Oh, I
phone.
got my, okay, that's all right. I got my phone. You'll have to turn your camera off, right?
And I know Freeman was already looking it up, which to me is so profound in so many ways because it's like he's recognizing that there are messages. At least take what resonates with you. Some people think it's so silly. For me, I think everything's a freaking message. Everything. The Roadrunner. I'm talking to Freeman on the way home yesterday, and a Roadrunner crosses my path. I haven't gone to go look up that again to see what the reference was. But all these things are coming in for a message, for a reason. And some of them are duplicate messages if you pay attention to it.
Okay, I love that. I'm just going to read this first paragraph. Spiritually, the snake is universally viewed as a powerful symbol of transformation, healing, rebirth, and wisdom. Because it sheds its skin, it represents shedding old habits and embracing new life cycles. Exactly what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into there's more, but I'm not that's enough to get started with for anybody. Um Even us talking about a snake is a sign. It's your sign, right? That you
Yeah.
do have wisdom and it is time for transformation, or it's just a validation, confirmation of the things that you've been thinking or practicing or wanting to move into. And this might just be that validation that you need. So embrace the idea that maybe you didn't see a snake, but we're talking about a snake.
I like it. And relax into your power is what's kind of coming into my mind right now because it's the running constantly is just old programming. It really is. I felt the difference. I've gone to Mexico, um, Maui, two different places. The energy was always quieter, calmer, more at ease, more live in the moment. And so it's how can you rise above that? It's by living in your moments. It's not, it's rising above the energy frequencies that you're in right now. When I was talking to a friend yesterday, we were talking about stuff and I asked her, I said, do you notice that times, because we were talking about frequencies being put out there that are controlling a lot of people or a lot of could be. And we were talking about that, and I said, well, my example would be, have you noticed that you're going throughout your day, and all of a sudden you start feeling angry, you might start feeling sad. You may never even left the home yet. You're like feeling great, and all of a sudden you feel sad, you feel all these emotions that you weren't feeling. And I said, a lot of times I'm feeling like that's something that's being projected by some sort of devices to put a frequency out there. And she's like, well, how do we not be affected by that? And I said, we rise above it. We don't stay in the same frequency of it. And all it is a reminder that I'm tuned into something, an energy frequency that's not my ideal frequency. I could be tuned into a higher frequency. So then that takes you right back to the present moment. If I'm present right now and I'm in acknowledgement, if I'm present, I'm in acknowledgement of how I'm feeling right now. And I have that perfect opportunity to change and shift higher. And then I'm unaffected by those things, by the 3D, what I call the 3D. So now we're now in the 5D. Now we're in a space of creating, in a space of neutrality, because we're not being controlled by fear or anything from the 3D. You're vibrating higher because you're more aware of what your frequency that you're putting out. You're more aware of how you're feeling. You're learning more about yourself. You're in tune to yourself so that you can be in tune to whatever you direct your attention to.
Yep. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And that is all in your control, each of us. When I say your, it's Bev's, it's mine, it's yours, the listener. It's in our control on an individual basis, and then collectively that energy based on the choices that we have and or have made, collectively that energy is what amplifies what's happening around us, good, bad, or indifferent. So be mindful of that as well. Also, remember that people out there are also having these conversations, whether out loud or internally, and they're seeking the guidance. And so, if any part of this video resonated with you, or this content resonated with you, that you would be the resource and share it with other people. Share the links, share the book, share the webinar, whatever it is, whether it's us or anybody else that you've connected with and is providing guidance. So you can find us on many platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spreaker, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and YouTube. We're under Bev and Amy and Bev Community. And then the podcast itself is Tea Time with Amy and Bev. So with that, thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.